is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
So, when you don't clean the kitchen after you eat, see, when we moved to the country in the early 2000s, damn near like 2001, and when we moved up, it was a bunch of field rats. So we had a lot of rats and rodents and stuff like that. And my father and my mother, they were the ones that allowed us to have an upbringing that didn't involve having rats in our fucking house. So what my parents did was every night after my mama cooked, she would clean the kitchen. And I'm talking about clean that motherfucker like, I mean, it was insane. I can remember going back as a child, how clean it was. I mean, it was crazy. So they did that or whatever. And, my parents, they set out traps and stuff like that. In about less than a year, after seeing how bad because they were eating through the, they eat through the AC, ventilation and all that shit. Man, after about a year, that stuff was gone. Like, we never had another roach. We never had another rat. If we did have one, I think we had one or two, and that's because they ate through the ventilation shit and they came through the vent. But my dad quickly fixed that. We live next to a field, so I mean, that's kind of stuff that you expect. That's the kind of stuff you expect when you live out in the country, is that you're going to have rodents and stuff. But the point is that Xavier, my brother just now, before he went in the room to go to bed, he just took a look at the kitchen like, Lord have mercy. And he just shook his head. Because I was sitting on the couch like, I don't have no problem, straightening up the kitchen and shit like that, because, again, it's already embedded in me that I don't want rats and roaches around me. What did I tell y'all I used to do at the tent? And this is outside. What did I tell y'all? We stopped dumping trash over there. I stopped damn near, like, we damn near, wait, hold on. Because I told y'all, man, it was a big ass fucking, I don't even think I told y'all about that. Man, the other day, I was going to the smoke shop, and there was a big ass dog. Man, this damn dog was, shit, man, that was a big ass dog. And I'm riding this damn scooter, and that dog took a break from what it was doing and started chasing me. If this scooter didn't go 12 miles an hour, if it went 10, that dog would have got my ass, bro. I told my brother, I said, bro, I almost got my ass ate up. He was like, bro, what happened? And I even told the dude at the smoke shop, and that nigga was like, man, I'll give you this shit for $5. It was a $15 pre-roll. But he was like, man, since you almost got your ass ate up by a dog, I'll give you this shit for $5. I was like, man, I appreciate that, bro. I really do. Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with the dog, bro. But, thank you for helping me out with this shit. But, that was the thing, is like, and even with my mother, I'm very grateful for my stepmother, as much hell as she put me through. It was something that I noticed too, that I was thinking about a couple hours ago, is that I've never heard my mother say stuff like, you better leave my boy alone. You better leave my baby alone. You better leave my son alone. And I'm saying, like, in a joking way. I've heard her do it with all three of them. Y'all leave my boy alone. Like, if we picking on my little brother, over something or anything like that, they'll be like, my mom will be like, you better leave me. I've never heard her use those terms with me. Use those words, about me. But anyway, but I'm very grateful for the things that she taught me, or, just tried to. She didn't really teach us, like, they would just make us understand how nasty that shit was. When you get bread, you need to put the bread wrap back on the bread. Don't tie the bread up in a fucking knot. Don't do that shit. Okay? It was stuff like, we was, because we used to drink Kool-Aid. And so my parents was like, bro, you need, like, when y'all drop y'all sugar and shit on the ground or on the counter, clean that shit up. They will eat anything. Roaches will eat anything. You want to know how we know that? The motherfuckers started eating the soap. When my parents cleaned up, just so good to the point where the roaches had no other choice but to start eating the soap. I'm talking about my mom used to clean out the sink, not leaving any debris inside of the sink before we go to bed. That was just what she did. So like I said, that's not an option for me and my brother. And that's why I said, like, it's just some things about people that they don't notice about themselves, or they too, like I told my brother earlier today, man, the things that people believe in, what you believe in, the music you listen to, all of that shit, it will reflect on the outside in one way or another, or in multiple ways. You'll be fat. You'll have a bad attitude. You'll have your mouth is, you got a problem with saying a little slick shit. All that type of stuff will manifest itself, when you leave all of these things unchecked. Hell, just on my way out the door was a fat ass fucking cockroach. I probably broke his legs. I didn't crush him completely, but I just shook my head like, here we go. They're getting bigger and bigger. You're cutting on the sink in the bathroom. They're in the sink. Like, oh my God. And you can't, because like I said, if I was to try to clean up behind them, that shit would be, I would then have to start putting forth comments like, because like, my nephew, he walk inside and see a wrapper on the ground thinking there's some cookies in there. He picks up the wrapper, looks at it, sees nothing in there, and then put it back on the ground. I say, I go, put it in the trash. There's nothing in there. Put it in the trash. Just now, every meal that they eat, you would think everybody dropped their plate at least once with as much food that be on the ground. I'm like, God damn. The nigga just got his food, and I'm like, bro, you just got your. I'm starting to comment on things now because I've already been here like 2 weeks, so I'm starting to comment on shit like, damn, Nemo, you just got your plate and you already dropped a little fucking thing of mashed potatoes right there, dude. Jesus, how did that even happen? I can see why my brother's like, I'm done with it. And when my brother not at the house, Gabby's like, I'm done with him. I don't want nothing else to do with him. Because my brother got a bad attitude and he got a problem with his mouth. I just told my brother, I said, bro, you've never feared anybody. Growing up as a kid, there were no adults that you feared. So you carry about your life as if you expect kids not to be scared of you. It don't work like that, bro. These are little, small, frail, punk-like little kids, bro. Like they're scared of someone like you. What have I told y'all about adults? I can't come around an adult and they not show some sign of intimidation on my behalf. But the kids are so comfortable around me. Hell, them niggas just stole my Gatorade out the freezer and didn't even say shit. You know what I'm saying? They comfortable enough to try to go reaching for candy in the refrigerator early in the morning. And I'm like, y'all know you're not supposed to be doing that. And I speak to them in a way that, like I told my brother, it's the innocence that overwhelms me about these kids that makes me show them mercy. Xavier, you don't know what it's like to have mercy shown on you. Or put it this way, you don't know what it's like to show mercy to others. So you talking to them like, your mama just told y'all can go outside, and now y'all ain't nobody going outside. So now y'all don't want to say nothing. It's like talking to a fucking wall, and then you go back in the room and close the door. I'm sitting on the couch like, boy, if I was a kid, I would not like you at all, dude. That was just like the word. Damn. I told him it would have to be a situation where I would have to have kids and they would have to see how I treat mine, how I treat the girl, how I treat the woman. Because Xavier is not going to learn from me telling him anything. Nobody really learns from me telling them anything because they'll say, what do you have then? How can you speak on this and you're not a parent? Easy. I can stay in your house for an extended period of time and get a sense of how you treat them, how you talk to them, how you discipline them. When I told y'all the scooter broke the other day and then it just started working again out of nowhere, which caused me to rage the fuck out. And I told my brother, I was like, I don't know what happened, bro. I ride on the road. I try not to hit no bumps, etc., etc. He's like, man, and he goes in the house and he's like, Avery, what happened to the scooter, bro? And I'm outside pacing back and forth like it got nothing to do. I was like, bro, it has nothing to do with them. It happened on my watch, so it's my fault. Leave them out of it. And he's like, and he's still just asking Avery, like, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? And Avery's like, I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. So here come Gabby. Don't fucking lie to me. Don't fucking lie to me. I'm like, oh my God, boy. Y'all, this is horrible. Horrible. I'm like, yo, leave them alone. It has nothing to do with them. So it's shit like that, you know. I could counsel you on how to be a parent, how to talk to your kids, how to behave around your kids. You think because you curse and they don't, that they're not gonna curse? They're gonna use this language on their friends, on their brothers. They're gonna look at people and call them stupid and shut up and get out. That's how they're gonna talk to their friends, because that's how you talk to them. It's very simple. But see, this is what happens when you start fucking and you having kids that are unplanned. That's what happens. Now you basically just, you know, that's like I used to do. I used to try to, you know, have cats and dogs around me, not understanding that at my most angriest moment, I don't have time to give attention to other shit. I know how to channel my shit, but the last thing I need is to come home and I got shit all over my tent from a damn dog or a cat. The cat jumping all up on the damn mesh walls, ripping the damn fabric, and I don't need that shit. But it's so cute. Yeah, it's the same thing. Xavier, when you at your job and you looking at this chick and she doing her work and you like, man, I can fuck her. Like, dude, okay, but you having a weak pullout game, brother, you're not thinking like that, you know what I mean? So, it really does become a mess. And like I said, the kids suffer at the end of the day. You know, this nigga actually had the balls to text my parents and was like, I might have to come back to the house. She tripping. And I asked him, like, what did they say? And he was like, man, Dad didn't even reply. And he was like, I already know what that means. They probably want me to stick it out. I'm like, yeah, bro, you're 40. Shit, boy, since Jeremiah done died, I done found out so much shit about my brother that is very, very like, are you kidding me type shit. I mean, and to be honest, boy, it's like, do I need to go just get somebody pregnant so they can start giving me shit? They just give you stuff, dude. Like, if they would have given me Jerry's car, the first thing on my mind would be like, nah, man, like, that's too much of a responsibility. He was like, I don't even pay what do you say? He don't even pay the car note. He just pays the insurance. So that's how I was like, bro, that's just too much responsibility. That's an expensive car. And you took on that responsibility like a fool. I'm not gonna say like a fool, but you just, bro, like, have you not noticed every single time you get into some shit, bro, that's what happens. Every time you get into some shit, it's because you don't really, like, I don't want to say like critically think about it, but you just quick to take anything. Like I said, my dad was like, bro, you can come back to the crib. And I was like, all right, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. That's simple. I'll think about it. I'm not about to sit up here and just, oh, yeah, I'll come. Next thing I know, I get there and it ain't what I thought. You know what I mean? Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm going to put this sucker on like 9 miles an hour. I'm going to go get a burger. You okay? Okay. Whoa! Yeah, I'm gonna go to McDonald's and get one of those death burgers. Just a little small burger while they cook food. She's making wings and I'm pretty hungry. Give me a chance to talk for a second. So I just got off the phone with my uncle. I've talked about my uncle in videos before. You probably nobody remembers a word I've said about my uncle. My uncle is a self-made man. He's somebody that never wanted to have a job. I don't think my uncle ever sold anything illegal. But if he ever did, he, participated in that. He used to sell car parts, and he was the only person I ever knew who had a Prowler. If anybody know what a Prowler is, you should Google it. A Prowler, I think it's a Chrysler Prowler or something. He had the first Hummer 1, Hummer 2, Hummer 3. As a kid, he was the first man I ever rode in a dually truck. And he would go to the horse races. This is a man that would employ hundreds of Mexicans to work around his property and on his farm and stuff like that. So he ended up getting caught up, from what, word of mouth of family is, that he ended up getting caught up and his girlfriend, wife, whatever, had something to do with it because she had family that was also in law enforcement. And, they're still together to this day. I think my uncle did 8 years in prison. So he's been out. And when he got out, I didn't see him for quite some time until, my brother committed suicide. And he came out of nowhere to, just comfort my dad, be there for him. They real close. They're real close. My dad and his sister, my Aunt Pam, they're real close. So their parents are both dead now. My grandfather and their mother, they both passed away. So when my uncle saw me, he just embraced the hell out of me and was like, man, I haven't seen you in so long. I was a teenager when he saw me. I'm 32 now. So when he saw me, he just gave me a real tight hug. And he's still his old self, man. He just is a guy that used to give me $60, $70, $80 every time he saw me, to the point where my dad used to have to tell him, like, hey, man, don't be giving my son no money. Because if I don't know you giving him money and this nigga take off to the school and he come home with all this stuff, I don't know where he's getting it. So just give it to me instead of just giving it to him. So he's that kind of guy. He lives in Crosby, Texas, and he's just a, he's pretty rough around the edges just because he's dealt with a lot of street shit. And so when he gave me his phone number, when we left the funeral, he was like, only call me when you need it. You know what I mean? That only don't call me to tell me you love me. Don't call me to say hello. None of that shit. You call me when you know what to use that number for. And in my world, that means work. My uncle don't fuck around like with, just high and by and all that. Like, he's just, if you gonna hit him up, you want something, like you want some work or something like that. If he ain't his kids just trying to see him, then he ain't really trying to fuck with you like that. So I had just called him. I never thought I'd have to use that number, just because I can find other things to do before I even think about contacting my uncle. But in this case, not receiving my last check, or my last check floating around somewhere here from Domino's, I don't have time to sit on my hands and just wait on somebody to call me for an interview. Notice, an interview. It's not gonna be same day, same hire. So I'm gonna have 4 weeks to wait on my, I don't have that kind of time. And so he asked me, where do you live? I was like, I don't know where I live at, man. I don't. And so he's been institutionalized to the 10th degree based off of him being in prison and stuff like that, where he has this attitude about himself that he can't be tricked and fooled and played, which you're fucking with a pretty intelligent dude, my guy. And I see right through all of that shit. He was like, how old are you? I told him 32. He was like, and you think you want to be dealing with me right now? Because he's, I've never shown him or my dad that I'm somebody who's willing to work 12-hour days in the fucking heat for $5 an hour, or, that type of stuff. I've already told y'all, because of my health, I was never, by the time I was a grown man, I couldn't even work those kind of shifts because of my condition of my body. Low testosterone levels, the whole thing, to where I would have body aches, abnormal body aches all the time. And, this was because, like I said, I was taking the medication for, my headaches and stuff like that. So my body was just always in pain. So I couldn't work those jobs. That's why I started getting jobs at, fast food joints and you know, stuff like that, because working in these warehouses and all of that, I just wasn't built for that shit at that time. At that time, I've already said, if I was to do some shit like that today, if I'm able to go to the doctor, find out what's wrong with my head, either take the meds that they prescribe or they fix the problem permanently. You know, the head injuries I told you guys is from football. I'm the one out of 1,000 kids that I have now lifelong neck and head pain from being a running back. And it has taken me over 12 years to figure this out, because I had seen the movie Concussion, and it just put two and two together to me, like, oh, so that's why I'm getting these fucking headaches. It's not my diet. I don't eat like a slob. I don't eat, you know, and drink sugar-packed drinks and shit. So yeah, it's the concussion. No wonder why I don't like the heat. The heat just starts to make my head throb and hurt even more. No wonder why, you know, when the wintertime rolled around and shit like that, I'm more comfortable in the wintertime than constantly wiping sweat, taking pills. And once you get drowsy from the pills, you're not really, you know, me being homeless, you're not finna take no nap in the heat. So it just, that's what he has a resemblance of the little small, skinny, frail boy that, you know, couldn't even do the little painting job he asked me to do when I was 17. You know, I still remember the way I felt, man, back in that, back when I did that job for him, having to, he wanted me to paint like underneath the roof, the little lip of the roof that drapes over. He wanted me to paint that under there and all, you know, do it all around the house. Boy, my body felt like crap. My body was killing me, man, because that was one of the first times I ever really did hard manual labor. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just got off the phone with him. He said, you know, am I gonna, you know, this dude, this is what I mean by institutionalized. I ain't saying I'm the smartest dude in the freaking world, but this is a guy. Hey, give me 1 second, man. This is a dude that, you know, he knows, like, when him and my dad talk, they talk from a position of how I would talk with my brother about his kids. You know, now that I'm older and stuff like that, and I see how that shit work, I'm very mindful of how kids react when they know adults are talking about them or what they're saying about that kid. So if my dad is like, yeah, you know, CJ working at Subway and this, that, and other, if my uncle hears that, he's like, what, he don't want to take on responsibility? Like, that's his whole thing. Like, that's their thing, is like, yeah, he ain't got it in him. He don't work, like, he don't know how to work. That's how they talk to each other. Why? Because I'm not working no fucking warehouse stinking job. I'm not, you know, working 15-hour shifts and shit, you know, because we all know what comes with that. Kids, bills, very few motherfuckers. Yeah, man, let me get a cheeseburger with just me and cheese on it. That's it. To go. That's what he think, like, you know, well, like I said, like most people, they can't get away with that type of shit. You good, bro? I don't need that. Good, try. They can't get away with that type of shit. So what they do is, I've already told you, man. You got the means to go see girls. You got the means to, man, they gonna copyright my goddamn video playing this stupid ass music. Let me get out of here. Yeah, I'm about to say, just to slap some cheese on a burger and get that shouldn't take 6 days. I know how some of these jobs, boy, they they'll tell the motherfucker, hey, you're not allowed to take care of front counter. Only get drive-through, because you know drive-through is drive-through. You waiting on your shit. So they'll neglect 6 regular cheeseburgers with meat and cheese on it just to take care of all these people in the drive-through. And you sitting there like, how long does it fucking take to put cheese on a burger? We got to take care of the drive-through. Nothing else matters but the drive-through. Yeah. Experience working in fast food. But, yeah, man, that's what I already know. That's what my dad wanted for me, was to have a job that I'm making so much money that I'm having trucks and building motors and all this shit. Trust me, I already know it. Okay? And the son that you got to fulfill that little dream is Xavier. He's what I would have been. I would have had these kids. I would have had all types of, because I've always thought about, what if I would have done, who you honking at? Who the fuck you honking at? I've always had these thoughts of an alternate universe of every time I get in trouble and things happen, what would I have ever done with my car? What would I have had to do with a place of my own and shit like that? You know what I mean? So I don't think for 1 second like, oh man, I'm letting down my dad. Like, I already know what you want, bro. But unfortunately, my health does not, my health don't, it's never been on par to have one of those kind of jobs. So, not saying I can't do it, but my life has never been, my health has never allowed me to actually do something like that. And plus, a lot of them jobs, you got to quit smoking. Let's just be real. You got to quit smoking and they run background checks. And I don't have time for that type of silly shit for something like a box company and something like you stacking boxes or some shit. I ain't got time for that. You ain't finna piss test nothing for nothing. I'll do what I can with my little $11, $12 an hour. Because I told y'all, I don't do drugs. When I say I don't do drugs, I don't do anything outside of weed and tobacco. And I don't do that on an excessive level where I'm just blowing through money day after day after day. Nah, that's not how I roll. So that's how I know that I'm, you know, with my money, I'm pretty darn mature with my money. It's the pills, which as of yesterday, I just told myself, I'm not buying those pills again, guys. How many times have I told y'all people give me cash apps and help me out? And I know 10 of either the $20 or something is going to go toward those digestive pills. I'm done with that shit. Yesterday, I was just looking around like, dude, I went through 3 boxes in a day. I mean, three bottles in a day. There's no way. There's no way. So once I found out, once I couldn't find the bottle, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing it no more. I'm going to suffer and do what I got to do. No, that's too much money. It's too much irritation to have to go fetch those fucking pills every 2 days. I don't have that kind of time or money for that. So for 2 days, I've just been relying on hot, warm water with honey and a tea bag in it. But yeah, my uncle said, you know, I'll try to help you out. You might work with some of the Mexicans I got over here. I'll be gone for 4 days. You can work with them. I'll come pick you up and stuff like that. But yeah, man, them niggas, they have just like everybody in my family, they have a misunderstanding of who I am because everybody else is telling them who I am, not me. And then if they hear me tell them, they're gonna say, well, you trying to play me, you trying to get over on me. Nigga, I'm just telling you what the fuck I'm telling you. Like he told me, he said, you know, CJ, how old are you? And I told him, and he started laughing, and he was like, you gotta quit using the past as an excuse. And I know how to deal with that type of person. I just say, yeah, you right. But in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We've been on the phone for 5 minutes. I have not said nothing about the past. But I told you, he institutionalized to where he think he's just some goddamn me. He's a guru out here, and he just got, you know, loads of wisdom, and everybody else stupid. That's how it is. So again, he's gonna see that I don't, you know, I know how to deal with you now, bro. Like, I'm not going to talk. I don't want to, you know, explain myself to you. I just want to make this money and come back. That's it. That's all. He was like, you got to have a job, CJ. No shit, uncle. That's why I said I'm calling you in between the time that I'm applying for jobs and actually get a job. Hopefully that $300-400 will help me get through that rainy, you know, that drop period of not having a job, you know, till I actually get a call back. Duh. That's what I said. I didn't say I want to come work for you and never get a job. I'll be stupid to say that. So again, another adult that think they just on some like God tier of knowledge, and you just gotta let them feel like they right. Anyway, in other news, I wanted to talk about something that bothers the fuck out of me and it boils my broccoli. And that is fat fucks that, particularly women, that if you have a family, right, and you're cooking for a family, you want to make sure to prevent sickness, illnesses, that you're cooking the food all the way through. I grew up with my mother, and I watched over the years, due to her drug use, how each year she would cook the food and take it out like like sooner and sooner and sooner. Like she'll go in there and say, baby, check the turkey for me. And I'll go in there and check the turkey and tell her it looks okay and stuff. Okay, take it out. And she's ready to gorge on it. See, because when you doing cocaine and all the other shit she was doing, you know, you don't really have a normal person's appetite. So, this made her start to do shit like, you're not even, like hamburgers. I don't know how many times my mom had some of the best food ever, that to me, obviously. Her spaghetti started getting more bland. Her hamburger patty started to have more pink in it. And why is this happening? My mom was not fat, trust me. Big old ass, small hourglass waist, and big old titties. You know, I was a kid that everybody's, you know, teasing me about my mom. But she was a drug addict, which caused her to be impatient. So Xavier, my brother's baby mama, that the house that I'm at now, she has this syndrome of being fat and lazy. Okay? I've been waiting to talk about this for 2 days. When you're putting food in what they call I don't know what the fuck that thing's called, because they don't want to buy a microwave. So they put it in this little like oven, air dryer, air fryer, whatever the fuck that thing's called. And she's cooking things like chicken strips, hamburger patties, and all of these things. And none of this shit is fully cooked. Okay? This shit, it tore up my stomach the first day. So I told myself I'm going to start, you know, splitting it open and seeing whatever that's in here, you know, is fully cooked. I made a hamburger, you know, the frozen hamburger patties. I had made a frozen hamburger patty on the stove as it should be. And she goes, oh, why didn't you put it in the air fryer? And I was like, because I didn't want to. She was like, it's faster that way. And I just thought to myself, yeah, I don't want fast. I want good. Sorry, cooked. And so that's one of the many things that I'm sure if I tell my brother about, he's going to be like, I hate that shit, bro. You notice that shit too? Yes, I do. Uncooked, unfinished food because you so fat and goddamn. And then, you know, the way we were raised is that when my mother cooked, she cleans the kitchen. She cleans as she cooks. Anybody that has a home, you know that that's what you do. You cook and you clean at the same time. Not this one. You cook and literally think like, I guess you got a maid. Someone's coming behind you and say, oh, okay, I got it. You got no shoes on, boy. So that's one of the things that I find very distasteful, is that I gotta double check your food to make sure it's fully cooked. Them chicken strips last night were not fully cooked. So what I had to do was turn it on 400, preheat it, and put them back in there. See, what she's doing is she's pressing reheat, which is just, like she has some, like, and that's another thing, bro. Stop cooking food like that. You'll open up the whole bag of strips, put them all in there, and then there'll be like 7 strips just left in the air fryer all night long. That's wasted food. That's wasted. I have never seen in my life a kitchen look the way it has looked here recently. When I look on the ground and I see whole grapes, when I look on the ground and see a little small pile of cheese, when I look on the ground and see pineapple chunks, when I see corn dog sticks, like somebody literally just missed the trash can and left it on the floor, then I pick it up and it has mites on it, basically like baby ants, before the ants figure out how to get in here. Bro, you're just making a hotbed for roaches. And I'm watching it right before my eyes. It would take a hell of an effort to try to keep up with the cleanliness here. Because a lot of things, you'll do it and it'll get undone in probably 10 minutes. Well, as you can see, I'm back on the scooter. I have no idea. See, again, unexplainable. Why did that have to happen last night to cause that? That was one more gray hair added to my face, man, of just unnecessary, unwanted stress. I fiddled with it and told one of the twins to get on it and ride it and see what happens, and they got on it, and it ain't made that noise or whatever. I don't know what was wrong with it, but anyway, so my brother, right, whoa. People, they really do move over as if I'm a goddamn four-wheeler or something. It's just ridiculous at this point. They move as if I'm like a double wide trailer on the fucking road. Like, it's not that serious, y'all. So what they do is like, oh God, man, it's so irritating. It really is. I'm trying my best. Because I got to get this shit out right now. Look, they put their signal on like I'm a double wide trailer. And then you might be like, why you not on the sidewalk? These sidewalks are useless. They're so fucked up. They're more fucked up than the road. And I'm not taking no chance of hitting these bumps and fucking this hoe up. I've already got on it with my mind set on, okay, you might have to walk at some point in time. So a lot of people, they like to honk, and that shit triggers the hell out of me. So anyway, like, look, these dudes, they like, bro, I swear to God, they act like this goddamn thing is a Hummer or something. Like, get out of here, bro. It's not that serious. But anyway, man, so my brother, he's in a bit, he's saying that he's at his breaking point as well. He said he just got off the phone with my mom and asked her, could he come back? So I told him, man, let me go get this medicine. Let me go get this medicine. And we can talk about it when I get back. I'm all gamed out, man. I'll tell you, I've been doing so much gaming. It feels abnormal to be able to, like, get on one game, go to, normally when anyway, I ain't about to get all into that shit. But anyway, my brother and his, the girlfriend he's with now, Gabby, his third baby mama, another one of his other baby mama's brothers died. And the funeral is this weekend. And it's also his son's birthday. And from what he's saying, she's upset about that. Now, she came in the house saying, like, your brother's pissing me off. She threw the internet router on the couch and it was just like she was mad, like damn near every day she is. And this is normally how this is how most people's houses are. If you live with your girl, like, it's just a bunch of, I don't want to come home to this shit and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, trust me, been there, seen it, whatever. So, I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, your brother's pissing me off. And I was like, yeah, I know, because one of the kids accused one of our kids of stealing one of these damn scooters. And ain't nobody take nobody's scooter. And this old ass lady was like, we're going to call the police. I'm like, by saying that, you think I'm going to be like, oh, no, please. Okay, here's your scooter. Like, bitch, go do what you need to do. So she never called the police. And so I'm knocking on the door to notify my brother, like, bro, these niggas just keep knocking on this door. They pissing me off. Come see what's going on. He's not answering the door. And I'm thinking one of two things. Either this nigga done slit his wrist and killed himself, or he's purposely choosing not to answer. Like, he's, having one of his, I'm not doing nothing, I don't care what's going on outside of this door. So, I go outside, I jump on the scooter to go get this medicine, and he's out there and he's like, man, I'm at my breaking point, bro. This girl is tripping. Like, she's actually thinking that, like, I'm not supposed to take part in this nigga's like, I'm not supposed to do nothing this weekend. Are you lost your mind? And he was like, bro, you got shit all the way fucked up. And so he was like, man, I done told mama and them, I done called mama and told her that I might have to come back. And so I told him, man, let me go get this medicine. We're going to talk about it when I get back. I don't think there's nothing I can say to see. This is all very easy. But the thing is like, if you have to force that shit out of people, man. You like how they say, play your hand. You got to play your hand, bro. Do the worst. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to attend my son's birthday. I'm going to do all that. You start locking doors and doing all of that shit, then now I'm going to have to start getting the police to escort me to the house to get my stuff, and we're going to do it that way. Now, I did explain, I explained to him, like, bro, the same way I got an apartment is the same way you can get an apartment, bro. And it's just so embedded in me that I never include myself in none of this shit. Like, we can live together. We should try. I don't never do that shit, even though I can, but I don't. But I was like, bro, you can get this shit. They can like, not erase, but they can, like, get the documents to say, like, you haven't done any crimes or anything in the past 7 years, no felonies and none of that shit. And you can get an apartment, bro. It's possible to get it in your name and all that other shit. But see, nobody never taught him that. I told my brother, the one that committed suicide, I told him about it, and it actually worked out for him. This is going very smooth, y'all. Very smooth. So, and I told him the same thing about a car. Like, all of this stuff is obtainable through that service on Facebook. And so, also, my dad offered, I told y'all, for me to come back, right? And I was like, bro, me and my brother can live in a trailer, like a camper. If dad bought me a camper, I don't mind sharing it with you, my nigga. I don't. Now, it's gonna suck because, you know, you way the fuck out there, and how the hell am I gonna move around to find a job? That's gonna suck. But other than that, that was a lot of bumps. Other than that, you know, we'll be fine, bro. But, you know, that's what's all going on right now. And, you know, this is the result of not being honest. Always looking for the first sign to get out of something. I told y'all, man, I could have begged all these family members to do all of this different shit to avoid living outside. But I knew at the end of the day, people grow tired of taking care of you, no matter, even if you supply your own food, your own everything. It's a thing of like, only your parents are probably the only ones in your life that could put up with you for a lifetime like that. If you try doing that shit with a female, and you know, and she know, bro, I can never get my own place. If your woman know that you got enough money at any time to get out on your own, she will change her act. If she know you have a means to do all of this on your own, she will change her act. But if you want to walk around here, Xavier, thinking that you can keep lying and shifting and sneaking and slithering through all of these situations, bro, I'm telling you, it's never going to work out. Because everything you have is based off of half-truths. And trust me, I get it, like, you know, with the you know, a lot of his shit is money. Because he got 3 kids he got to take care of. Nemo, Isaiah, and Zion. So, you know, a lot of times his pockets get bled and shit. But, you know, my brother is just built a certain way that he's like an old dog that you cannot teach new tricks. He's set in his ways. He got kind of like a Jamaican, South African type of attitude. Like, he's very aggressive about, like, relationship type things, you know? Like, that's like relationships. Like, a lot of things that you would consider common sense, he's very, you know, like, okay, you know, I go play basketball on this day, don't ask me to do shit. Telling Gabby nothing comes before basketball, like, that's not what fathers say, brother. you know, you don't never want to stop smoking weed. A father eventually, at some point, has to consider, okay, maybe I don't want my kids to see this. I don't want them to know what this smell is. You know, let them do that shit when they get out of my house. But see, again, when you don't have rules and regulations within your own life as far as principles and shit like that, morals, then a lot of times you just let a lot of shit go. Next thing you know, you look up and everything is so far out of whack and out of hand. That's why I said, I told myself, bro, I don't want to live with nobody else. Because when all this random shit starts happening and people want answers, why you lose your job? Why you ain't been going to work these past couple of days? Why you acting like that? Why you, all that shit, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. I'm not trying to be the one listening to that shit. I'd rather just go home or to a place where I know I don't have to answer to nobody. So, you know, it's very important that when you having kids, man, you know, nobody really wants to micromanage a child's every move, everything they watch, everything that entertains them. And I understand that, man. It's a lot to keep up with. But at the end of the day, if you are interested in trying to create another productive human of society, not another mentally ill, coddled American, then these are the things that you're going to have to do. And if you're not going to do it, then don't have kids. But who am I to tell you where you stick your dick at? You know, because at the end of the day, you're going to do it. And then say, oh, we're going to have a kid. And then the kid comes and you just got to kind of play like you're happy. Play like it, you know, none of this shit be planned. None of it be planned. So, that's just something that, you know, I'm going through right now. Like I said, I'm trying to, you know, there's going to be a point where I'm not going to be able to smoke. I'm not going to be able to do nothing but just occupy my time with work. And what I mean by that is going to work for my uncle, you know, because he, you know, is a felon. I can't have that shit around him. I can, you know, but when I was like 17 and he saw me with that blunt in my ear and he just kind of looked at me like, what the fuck? You know, it was one of those things that from their generation, weed has a bad label, you know? So if you don't have all your ducks in a row and they find out you smoking weed, they just think you're just a degenerate fuck up, you know? So, you know, you got to fight that stigma, you know? And then, like I said, at some point in my life, I won't be able to get the pen. I won't be able to do this and that, which things are already kind of looking like I'll be set up and good to go. I know around my uncle, I can't have weed, physical weed. It's going to have to be one of those pens. Just because, you know, again, he's going to think that, because that's like I told y'all earlier, he, you know, how old are you, CJ? And I told him how old I am. And he's like, you think you want to deal with me like that right now, man? You gotta get it together, man. And I'm just like, when did I call you and say I don't want to get it together and I can't get it together? And nigga, I got terminated because I threw a fit. Too much shit came over me in that one day, and I just threw a fit. And now, like I said, I have no fear of another job. Like, I was ready to start over. What did I keep saying in all those videos? I'm trying to get my GED so that if any of those things would have happened, every single thing I told y'all that happened on camera, I could have said, you know what, bitch, fuck you. And walked out of that hole. Could have threw the hat at her and everything, knowing that I had a backup plan. Because I told y'all something was going to happen. And it was going to be very petty. So, I'm a wrestling fan, right? And I don't talk specifically about wrestling more than any other subject. But me being a wrestling fan, and I mean, you couldn't pay me to watch Raw, SmackDown. I don't even know if 205 Live still exists. Boy, it's getting a little chilly outside. Ooh. Nigga, I'm out here in flip-flops, some swimming trunks, and a regular old t-shirt, and my feet are feeling it. It's cold. So, it was something that I heard from What Culture. You know, it's a channel. What Culture? Wrestling. What Wrestling Culture? Whatever the fuck the channel's called. And they did a top 10 things that Triple H has ruined about the WWE. And one of the things was too many titles. Too many titles. I'm gonna give you guys a glimpse one day of how I operate. You know, and keep in mind, I do always keep that in mind. Like, these are human beings. This ain't a video game. So whatever I'm doing on a video game, these aren't players that are getting pregnant. These aren't players that are getting DWIs. These ain't, it's a video game. I get it. But the overall scope in which I use that game is there is supposed to be a world heavyweight champion. There's supposed to be an undisputed champion, meaning a champion for both shows. There's supposed to be a singles champion, meaning intercontinental, United States championship, hardcore championship, which really hardcore don't count. It's kind of the upper echelon of the titles. Intercontinental, United States title. And that's pretty much it. The titles under those are the cruiserweight, European titles, etc., right? And the way I see it is that all of these titles, it really just speaks to the idiocy that a lot of people suffer from when it comes to script writing. It all just blends together, man, with everything we go through in life. And the TV shows are stupid, the movies are stupid, the sports are just unbelievably obviously rigged now. And it's just like, yeah, and that's just one more thing, wrestling. You know how many times I get angry watching wrestlers hurt each other because they're trying to do some insane, hey, power bomb me, then I'm gonna power bomb you, and then we're gonna power bomb each other through a table. Why? John Moxley, that guy there, man, he should be the poster boy of what not to do if you're trying to become a wrestler. Stop trying to stab wrestlers in the head with screwdrivers. That's not very convincing. Sorry. This is wrestling, not a soap opera where somebody fake shoots someone and writes them off the damn TV show or some shit. It's just so disgusting. And I can't stomach any of it, but I keep up with it through Jim Cornette. And a lot of it is like he said, a lot of times he just be like, what the fuck, dude? These people just try to do that's like what Brock Lesnar said. He F5 Cena 4 times. Like, come on, man. It's just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. The choreography is pathetic. Getting ready to go to the smoke shop. All the kids, everybody going to school. But I wanted to talk about something that came up. And it came up on my YouTube. Or excuse me, Instagram. My brother sent this to me a couple days back. And it's very, very telling about the inability to I'll give you even a better example. I have a small clip on Instagram that I might try to include in here. I mean, they copyright so much stuff that it gets to the point where, you gotta just hope that you can show an example of something and they not hit you with a copyright strike. But in the video, Dick Gregory explains the idea of the glasses. Once you have the glasses on, you can't take them off. Okay? The people who don't know who Dick Gregory is, go look him up. That's all I can say. But he said the truth is like having these glasses on, right? the truth is like having these glasses on. And he says, once you put these glasses on, you can't take them off. Once you put the glasses on, you can't you see things the way the world really is. And you cannot make other people wear the glasses. Okay? And those three statements alone, once you wear these glasses, you're going to see the world for how it is. You cannot take the glasses off, nor can you make somebody wear the glasses. All of those statements, right, is the makeup of myself. I'm finna pass up one of the boys here walking to school. Show y'all how it's done. If I'm your stepdad or anybody living in your house, I have an obligation to speak to you, not just ride past you like you don't exist. I don't care if you did anything that a kid would do before school. I'm a damn adult. And you going to school right now, that makes me smile just being a kid. Have a good day, bro. See you. They're kids. Xavier would have just kept, my brother would have just rolled on by that nigga. You know what I mean? But we ain't here to talk about that. Once you put those glasses on, I haven't seen the movie They Live. I probably wasn't even born when that shit came out. But once you put on those glasses, you can't take them off. And this is the problem a lot of people have with me, is that they want me to take the glasses off and they want me to see the world how they see it. My brother sent me a video of a guy saying, before you give up, before you throw in the towel, and I just cut the video off from there because I wanted to talk, you know, about what I think when it comes to positive perception and positive thinking. You know, I'm somebody who is a firm believer in making adjustments. Okay, life is so silly that in crunch time, if you can't make adjustments with your girl, with your kids, with your job, with your anything, you are going to struggle. I don't even know what it's like to not make the adjustment. So for example, if somebody say, well, CJ, you unemployed, right? Yeah. Well, don't you think you probably need to get up and move somewhere? Like, you've already kind of used all your options up, you know? That's called making an adjustment. Me calling my brother saying, hey, bro, come pick me up and just let me get my ass away from over here. That's an adjustment. Because every day that I would have stayed in that tent by myself would have been the lack of making adjustments. Thus me just being more upset and angry about the situation and angry with myself. When I can't sleep, I wake up and stretch. I roll on my little plastic ball to get all the knots and shit out of my neck. And I'll brush my teeth, wash my face, and can, you know, just get back on the game, fill out applications, just do something else. But it's all in the name of making adjustments, okay? Making adjustments. Sitting there getting mad, you wake up, you can't sleep. Okay, well, just make an adjustment. If somebody says, can you commute to this job? And if you can't, are you willing to walk to work? Are you willing to have to catch a bus? Are you willing to ask someone for a ride that you know possibly leaves earlier than you? Do you mind showing up early to your job? All of these different things are called adjustments. And if you say no to any of this shit, then a bitch fine. If you say no to any of that stuff, then you're basically saying you don't know how to make adjustments. You want everything to come to you already have made adjustments for you. You want things to make adjustments for you. So when people tell me, CJ, be positive, CJ, you got to make adjustments, CJ, smile, CJ, First of all, you cocksucker, I got the glasses on, you dumb bitch. I got the truth glasses on. So with the truth glasses on, it's like being in a haunted house 12 months a year. You see ghouls and goblins and witches and all types of shit without the other person, without everyone around you knowing what you're seeing. It can't be more, it can't be better illustrated than that. Is that once you put them glasses on, you are in a haunted house 12 months a year, 365 days. And everybody that tells you to smile and it ain't that bad and all of that, you need to shut the fuck up. Because if somebody, a lot of these people have never had anything taken from them. Nobody that I know in my family on both sides have ever had to live in a tent outside. Hell, these people would think I'm crazy if I go to my uncle's house and say, hey man, I don't want to sleep indoors. I bought my tent with me. If I can just set it up in the backyard and I'm straight, I'll just, wake up in the morning, come inside, wash my face, brush my teeth, and then, get back to work. You know what I'm saying? But I had to do that because I had to learn how to make adjustments. I told y'all, that's why I don't like living with people. No disrespect to my brother and his baby mom, but you're filthy, lady. And this is why when I look around and I'm like, damn, I got to get all these piss bags up from around the tent. I got to get the trash. I got to get this. That's my junk. And I tell you now, it ain't going to take a whole day and a half for me to clean that spot up. It's not going to do that. I swear to God, if this smoke shop is not open, I'm going to be pissed. Because this is like the second day. It's like, I think this nigga like lives at his job. Because I seen him coming from the back one day and was like, what the fuck, dude? They open up at like different times and stuff. I really don't have time for this shit. I think they open at 9 o'clock or some shit during the week. I don't even know. Just stupid. You don't have normal store hours. But that's what I compare it to. The fact that, another person's house is filthy, again, I could complain, I could, sneak this and throw little shots and shit at her through telling my brother, but that's not right. That's not right. My personality is best to just fix the problem. Fix the problem. Seeing chips every goddamn way on the floor. Y'all leave y'all towels, and a lot of shit y'all do, we did. We used to leave our clothes in the bathroom. My mama wake up, tell us wake up and shit like that. Next thing you know, she gotta tell us to pick up clothes off the floor and stuff like that. Trust me, been there, done that. I don't know. Okay, you said we're closed. We're closed. Store hours, they open at 10 o'clock in the fucking morning, and it is barely 9 o'clock. See, this that bullshit. This that bullshit. Let me come back and get my phone. I went to the smoke shop like y'all saw me, and for some reason, smoke shops that say 24 hours are opening now at 10. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. So, headed back. Smoke shop opens at 10 o'clock, closes at 10. Just in all vape cities are 24 hours, but the one I went to down the street also said 10 o'clock. So, just a little fuckery. Talk about making adjustments, goddammit. Had to come home, eat the rest of that pathetic ass breakfast, sit around. I put in about 6 applications. Now I'm headed back. But I have been seeing on the news, not on the news because I don't watch the news, but I've been seeing almost every day mass shootings. Shout out to Eddie Griffin, the comedian, one of the originals. He did a video. I guess he has a podcast or something. I'm gonna have to subscribe to it. But he goes into detail about there's so much shit going on right now in this world that none of it is happening at random. None of it. I've said this since 2015 when I was in jail. I told them dudes, hey man, this shit will never stop. When I get home from jail, I'll hear about more shootings and more shootings and more shootings. America is a very dark. America has a lot of dark secrets. So as I'm seeing school shootings, church shootings, niggas is stabbing women in the neck, niggas getting shot in the neck. And like the brother said, you look at the video, man, none of these people are moving around. None of these people are calling the police. None of these people are checking on this woman. It makes you believe that these are like extras in a movie, that they're not, they were paid to just not do anything. I'm able to get in the mind of a lot of these sick motherfuckers that run the world and understand something that is very important. We are already dumb, slaves, stupid, weak, afraid, don't have any knowledge of anything. If I am a controller, if I'm a part of the, these religions that are a part of politics, these religions that are a part of educational curriculum, these religious groups that are in charge of moral principles, I would have a clear understanding by the data. I'm a regular old guy. Just imagine if someone brought data to my table every day about the condition of the United States. I am able to channel those kind of thoughts of there is nothing that the American population can do to turn this shit around. There's nothing. Nothing at all. Not your Jesus, not your Bible, not your the only way that this can change is from within each and every person. Each and every individual has to change. That's the only way that humanity has a chance, is if people learn how and learn the benefits of meditation and having a real, true experience. I don't want to say relationship, but if you have an experience with God on a real level. I talked about putting the glasses on. That's part of it. When you walk with God, you're gonna see those things. That's why I've said, no matter what I say, all the crazy shit I've said, God, I believe, looks at me as like, boy, you bought and paid for it. All that stuff you talking, I need you. I need you to spread my message, because CJ, you spread my message even when you don't want to spread my message, because you live in reality and reality flows through your mouth. CJ, you are constantly surrounded by the truth. I need you, CJ. Don't kill yourself, bro. Don't take that trip to Louisiana and try to see a witch doctor. Don't do these things, CJ. I need you. And so, with me understanding that that's what God is telling me, I tell other people, look, man, you can go to church till you green in the face. The church, it's not going to help you. And in these times, and I don't believe we living in the last days. If we were living in the last days, I would not be talking on this phone or riding an electric scooter in this beautiful, somewhat beautiful neighborhood. I would not. I would probably be getting chased by some road warrior like group and beat to death, you know, Mad Max style. So if you really think we're living in the last days, where in 7 days out of the week you can go get in a jacuzzi, you can take a shower, you can do anything you want. We're not living in the last days just because a lot of stuff on TV is scaring you. No, I'm able to see through the eyes of these demonic controllers. America is weak. And the more we keep doing this, we're just going to take the fight out of them. They already don't know how to fight. They think fighting is protesting. They think fighting is hashtag something, something, something. That's what the American people think fighting is. They don't know what a legitimate fight is politically. We don't know shit. We don't know what that was since what, the 40s? My buddy's not in there. I don't really like to call people my buddies just because they do nice things for me. He got a sucky attitude. But that was another thing I applied with one of these smoke shops, to have some of that one-on-one customer service experience. Last time I had that type of job was Dollar General, I think. Family Dollar, Dollar General. And like I said, y'all, because of my health, because of my poor, shitty ass health, that job, I did not get a chance to get everything out of it that I could have. Too many people would come in and have a problem with my attitude. And again, I have enough wisdom to know that, again, outside of my health, I did a great job. But when my health became a problem, people want you to acknowledge them. People want you to play with them and joke with them and happy holidays and all of that shit. And, you know, again, I'm so removed from the matrix that it's difficult for me to capitulate with those type of what we would call everyday manners. You know, I'm just so far removed from the matrix. And again, if you're going to have a job and function in society, you're going to make adjustments. Here I am. I don't have a father or anybody telling me this. I'm telling myself because that's just life. You can't have a job. And damn, that's a big ass bunny rabbit. You can't have a job doing that type of work and expect to talk to people and you don't make eye contact with them, because this is America. People are so fucking retarded and dumb and weak and attention seeking, you know, that they will report you. He didn't talk to me. And especially if you have people that are regulars, you know, you never want to piss off your regulars, because these are the people that are going to test you at every turn because of whatever service they got before you got there. They're going to compare it to how the service is now. And if you're somebody with a shitty attitude, they'll be quick to tell on you. Or if somebody else is working, they'll say, well, that guy that y'all have, that y'all just hired, I don't like him. Trust me, I know how it goes. So it will be a hell of an experience to work that kind of job again, like a vape city or something like that, because I've never had a job that demanded that I would, you know, have a haircut and look nice and stuff like that. Shit, part of the reason is that I told y'all my money always goes toward pills. So when you're constantly buying pills and shit like that, you don't have money for shoes like that. I've never bought a brand new pair of shoes for $150. Never. I've never bought a brand new shirt to to wear once or twice or something like that, that's more like my brother. And I see how my brother don't have headaches. He got real bad allergies, but he don't have headaches and shit like that. And I want to talk about something, and I'm going to talk about it extensively in this video and go ahead and get this shit uploaded. Yesterday, I had Googled what happens if your stomach doesn't produce enough acid. And everything that I read, I told the kids, I was just kidding with them, but I told the kids, I was like, y'all, I am fucking dying. And Anne-Marie, the girl, she's 15, she was like, really? And I was like, shit, then. But because what I read was pretty eye-opening. And for anybody that don't believe what I've said about how my health has ruined jobs, ruined relationships, ruined my financial goals and shit like that. This is what it said, and I wish I would have wrote it down, but it said something like, you will not absorb all nutrients from what you eat. So you see how some people can go a whole work shift without eating, and then when they finally eat, they damn near in their mind, they good for another 8 hours. Not me. And I always wondered, why is it that I get sleepy after I eat? Huh? Urinary infection. That's why I piss so much. Back when I worked at the Walmart distribution center and they fired me through the tip agency, he was like, man, every time we looking for you, you in the bathroom. I was like, well, ain't nothing I can do about that, bro. I take a piss or take a shit and pull up my pants and I come back to the floor. Oh, man, we need you here. All right, that's fine. So that's how I lost that job. And it used to piss me off too, having to go to the bathroom. And I would calculate. I just went to the restroom 10 minutes ago. Gotta go again. You see? So that was just another uncalled for termination because of my health. Constipation. Skin issues. If y'all see my skin got splashes all over them. How many times did I told y'all my teeth used to fall out of my mouth? I used to try to grow my hair out, but my hair would fall out. All of this shit that I read last night. And when I read it, it gave me just the biggest feeling of, euphoria. Like, I swear I don't want another job until I fix this shit. Because every check will be, oh man, I got my first check. Let me go stack up on my pills. Let me go buy more of this, more of that. I'm tired of it. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm 32 years old, and I've already said this before. I've never been able to buy myself something nice and know that I'm about to get paid in a day or two. I live from check to check because the $10 that I usually, y'all, if I would have bought those digestive pills that I said I wasn't gonna buy no more, but I just couldn't take the pain. I went to Walmart last night. I got a towel. What I do, I take the towel and then I put the pills in the towel. And I just scan the towel and whatever other medicine, that I have to buy. That's not $10. So I would not be going to no damn smoke shop right now if I would have bought those pills. You see what I'm saying? So we'll be sitting here sober-minded and cranky as hell. But because I stole them and had $88 left to work with, I said, yo, that's enough to buy a little $5 pre-roll. I got enough medicine to last me for a while. My cousin Denzel sent me $25 on Cash App. And he was like, hey, man, I get paid on Wednesday. Just let me know if you still need some help and I'll help you out again. I told him, I said, if I remember, I'll hit you up. And he works for Tesla. So he got all types of benefits and stuff like that. He was telling me, like, because he's about to have he's one of my baby cousins, man. And, time just flies, bro. Time just flies, and he already got a dad bod. the circular face and all of that. And he laughs at it. He's like, yeah, man, I can see it in the mirror. He was like, man, this shit's just crazy how it just does it on its own. I was like, yeah, man, it is. I told him, I was like, bro, you get benefits at your job? He was like, hell yeah. he gonna end up paying basically like a $25 gym membership. You know what I mean? Like, just straight up blessed. So, and then again, my uncle, he is possibly gonna come get me on Thursday, and I'm gonna spend Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday working with whoever this crew is that he said he has, that I'm gonna work, you know, and get a little extra money. I think, I don't want to say for sure, but I think, yeah, my family on my dad's side, they're sending me stuff on Facebook. I need to reply to it. And you see, that has a lot to do with, again, relationships. You know how many women I've talked to, and in 3 days I quit talking to them? Not because I'm not interested or nothing, but it's like I just get into these modes where I don't want to be bothered. And I believe that it's all health related. I believe that because I remember the feeling when I was in jail, I could watch TV all day and go to sleep just like that. I could just go lay on the bed, throw the blanket over me, actually visualize myself somewhere else, and just pass out. And I would wake up with a little small headache that I would just sit there like, okay, you're not smoking, you're not eating, so you're going to manage the pain, right? And I remember trying to manage that pain, that I had to ask the guard, like, hey, can you please bring me some type of medicine? I think she bought me like 400 milligram ibuprofen or something like that. And I took it and I was fine. And I would make that I would record that in my mind, like, okay, bro, you know that if you're not smoking, that the headaches will come, but they won't be as severe. Thus, you'll be operating on natural energy. The energy that y'all see me operate with since I've started this channel, I operate at about 100%. 40% of it is my actual natural energy. If I don't sleep, 40% is all me. The other 60 is taking these pills. The caffeine, the anti-inflammatory, so that my blood and shit flows through my head where I don't feel so, like, I don't have that tightness in my head. Yeah, 70% of my health isn't even mine. You know? So, and then, by the way, I was going to say, I think I already got an interview at Taco Bell on Wednesday. It was the same. I used to work for Taco Bell, and because of health reasons, there was a lot of things going on. The first time I worked at Taco Bell was in Sugar Land, and that's when my health was at its worst. That was during COVID, man. And a lot of that shit, you know, Taco Bell didn't close till 3 o'clock in the morning. I thought that was just so fucking absurd. You getting home at 6 in the morning, like, it's just ridiculous. But I also use other thought avenues of like, CJ, are you mad because, you know, is it your health that's making you fussy? Yep. Because you look around and nobody else was complaining. I'm not in my 60s. I'm not in my 50s, not even in my 40s. There is no reason why I cannot work a job like that, stay on my feet, stay busy, you know, not needing anybody to tell me to, you know, find something to do or anything like that. And, you know, I'm not making it out. Man, there were times I left that damn job walking home as if I got jumped or something. It was, and I remember just logging that shit in my mind of like, why do I feel like this? I feel like as soon as I get home, I ain't gonna take no bath. I'm gonna just get butt ass naked and just flop on my bed. All health related. And what I just said about my condition specifically, lack of nutrients, you're going to have body aches and shit. Your body's always hurting. I told y'all, my natural energy is unmatched. Me and my brother together, we got enough energy for a village and a half. He's the one that instilled kind of like if I could use an analogy, my brother is responsible for giving me almost like a lithium battery-like motor. Meaning I don't need sleep. I don't need no pills like Adderall and all that. All I need is whatever we're doing. If we playing basketball, me and my brother, we will run game after game after game after game after game. And I'm not nobody special, bro. There are people like this out there. I know. But I am a uber athlete. Okay? And what that means is that when your normal athlete is tired, me having so much fun and really having a limitless ability to do whatever I want. Whatever I want. If I want to play basketball, I play the game in a way that I'm going to want to play it all day. If I play football, I play the game in a way that I'm going to want to compete more than the people that I'm competing with. If it's baseball, if it's boxing, any of these things, I have to hold myself back because I'm a kid deep down inside. When I'm doing these things, the kid-like nature comes out of me. And I will roll around. Them dogs outside, I have to force myself not to play with those dogs. They're not our dogs. They go inside of the house that's next to ours, but they're so cute and, just I've never seen dogs play like that and behave like that I have to, just like, bro, don't, next thing you know, you're going to be rolling around in this grass and have doo-doo on your back playing with these dogs. Any woman I've ever dated that got a dog, I show the cat and the dog naturally. Now, I don't do it by choice, but if a woman got a cat or a dog, you might want to put that motherfucker up when I come around. Because the pet is going to draw to me more than you probably. The aura, the energy field that I have is that's why these kids feel like they can open their refrigerator, grab something out of it, knowing they're not supposed to do it. And then they're just hoping that I'm not like my brother. What the fuck you doing? Put that shit back, and scare the living daylights out of them. Now they going to school like, bro, I already didn't like the nigga my mama with. Now I don't like his brother. So I don't let them run over me. But I do let them know, like, bro, I've been a kid before. I know how it feels to, like the other day, Nemo, my nephew, his name is Nehemiah. We call him Nemo. He's outside on top of this little punching bag thing. He's on top of it. And I was making a YouTube video. So I had closed the door behind me. And then something told me, like, I know that little nigga is not still out there. Sure enough, go outside. He done left the gate. And the rules are you do not leave this house if your brothers or your parents are not here. I could be outside cutting grass all damn day. You're not my son. You're my nephew. So the rules are you stay in the house until they get home. I have no say-so, my nigga. So I told him, get in the house. Get in the house. I can't trust you now. I said, I'm not going to tell your parents because I don't want to see you get an ass whooping. But I can't trust you. Get in the house. That's all I said. That's all I said. Because the last thing you want as an adult is to have kids being fearful of what you might say, what you might do. Next thing you know, you got kids over here doing silly ass shit because they're afraid of you. Why the fuck you pouring that milk into a water bottle? Because I why are you doing that? Because why? Answer me. They're kids, dude. They do shit off impulse. And if they're afraid of you, now it's going to be part of the impulse to just lie to you. They're just gonna lie to you to avoid getting in any trouble. So when I read that about my health, all boxes were checked. All of them. Every single one of them. Can't digest my food from too much medication. And I've already said, if I can't get this fixed, there will always be. I don't consider medicine a necessity. So if I can look back and say, like I used to do, and say, how the hell did I get away with smoking cigarettes? I don't know. I have no idea. How the hell did I, manage to just get through a lot of shit that I went through in the past and compare it to now? I mean, really, it was all just, there were so many times in my life where I was doing things to help, like to try to cure this pain, that I was ready to die. I was ready to have a heart attack. They used to tell me in the doctor, like, bro, you're in your 20s, mid to late 20s. You're going to have a heart attack. I had that lady tell me she had tattoos all over her body. And what was weird was she was real handsy. I remember sitting in that damn hospital on that cold ass bed, butt ass naked underneath that little robe thing that they tie in the back. And she was tying the thing up behind me because I couldn't move, man. My body was hurting so much. All I could do was just sit there and just rock back and forth. And she used to she put the little, to check my heartbeat and all of that shit. And she put her hand on my shoulder, like right here. She was like, she put both of her hands on my shoulders and was like, I can feel the tension. She was like, your shoulders are like rocks. I'm just tapping on your trap muscle right here. And she was like, I can feel these knots in your neck from me being hunched over for so long. 3, 4, 5 hours of sitting there hunched over like that, just trying to monitor the headache. I thought we was finna make a porn in that hole. I mean, I've always been a Mac. When I mean a Mac or a player, I say things based upon me being an old school type of dude. If I'm calling you honey and sweetheart and hey babe and all these type of things, you take care now, dear. I'll see you later. These are things that it just comes out of me because this is why I talk about past lives. I believe that I've had a past life and I've lived this life already. When I'm nice to older women, it's because I know a lot of older women aren't used to being treated like that. Nothing goes through my head be like, okay, are you going to call her honey? Are you going to call her sweetheart? I'm going to call you based off of how you behave. I mean, shit, if I could go back to Houston and get back on that bus route and then they'd be like, I could FaceTime the tranny that I said I'm, on my Facebook and I'm cool with because if I FaceTime her and she turns and shows the camera to the bus driver, that lady's going to be like, dude, where have you been? I haven't seen you in weeks. What happened to you? That's a lady that I would say, honey, life just got real difficult. Lost my job. But you've always been a sweetheart. I want to give you $100. Here. It ain't much. Here's $100 because you've always been kind to me. You ain't never been like, where your $1.25? You've always been a sweetheart to me, even when I had a bad attitude. So for that, my soul and my spirit conjure up those words like honey and sweetheart, because that's what you are. You're a sweetheart. So this life of mine, it really is it's something that I've grown tired of, because again, I know when you know what's going on, yet there's really nothing you can do about it. That's the part where people are like, man, just be positive, or it drives you insane because you know what the problem is. You just can't do anything about it. I know what my problem is. Can't do really anything about it, because all they're going to do is send me to a doctor and say, okay, well, what's the problem? And then when I tell them the problem, they're going to say, you got insurance? No. Do you have a personal care doctor? No. So what do you want us to do? I Googled this right here. Could y'all write me a prescription for this maybe? Or they said that they can do a test on your stomach and see, the production of acid that your stomach is producing. And if it's not enough, then they can then work on it. I can't get none of that shit done because I don't have insurance and I don't have cash. So I have to live with knowing, I can get it fixed. But at some time, like at every job I've ever had, there's going to come a time where I'm going to have to take a hiatus. I'm going to have to take a break and say, hey, I got to go get this health problem fixed. Or I can just keep going to go buy the digestive pills and, have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80. That's 2 weeks. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Like, I'm not doing that shit, bro. As much as them pills are, that's gas. I told my brother the other day, I can't imagine the day I got to start putting gas in a car. Woo! Gas in a car, or you want your stomach, you want to digest all this junking that's in your gut, or do you want to put gas in your car so you can get from point A to point B? Ooh, it's tough. What's the point of me having gas to show up somewhere where I can't even perform? See, this creates the whole illusion that I'm mad, that I'm angry, that I'm happy, sad, glad, and all of that. Don't nothing be wrong with me, man. A lot of what goes on with me is shit that, like I've said, I have control over it, but because of the circumstances, there's nothing I can do. So you say something like, I got control over, right now, what can I say is bothering me? Nothing. I look around, I got everything I need. Take a hot shower, there's food. Nice bed. Ceiling fan, big fan, water, couch, phone with Wi-Fi. I got everything I need. So what'll piss me off? What's something at this point that could piss me off? Almost like every day, it's all. This is what I mean when I say I know how to create peace in my life. But with that, there is something out there that says, not so fast. You've been having a good day, good week. Well, it ain't never no good week. You've been having a good day, etc., etc. It's about time you misplaced your debit card. Even though you see me sitting it here, magically, Chris Angel style, David Blaine style, you actually put it under the couch. So I'll go then looking for my debit card and have to tear up the whole couch looking for it. That type of shit. My Uncle Trey says, hey, I can't make it out there to pick you up. And now I start to panic because again, I'm not putting all of my baskets inside of, well, my cousin said he gonna get paid in 2 days, so I ain't got nothing to worry about. No, that's scummy. So, in closing, I put in more applications, man. I'm trying to get back out there into the workforce. My brother wants me to say that I live here. I'm not saying that I live here because I'm a man of principle. Would I want to go back to the woods? I wouldn't mind. It's just the work, it's how, it's the job and, stuff like that. And when you're sitting in that tent all day versus being inside of the house where somebody can call me, hey, we got your application, we want to set up an interview, so on and so forth, I can actually answer the phone and go through with it. Instead of being inside the tent and I'm like, oh, I'm bored now. Let me just get up and go to Walmart and check my phone. Next thing I know, I done missed 5 missed calls and all of that shit. So it doesn't even make sense for me to be there. Even though I love my privacy. I miss my privacy. I miss just being out there. I do. Looking around and all the trees and shit like that. Man, I've told y'all, I'm somebody that in real time, I can appreciate what I'm witnessing in real time. By the way, all the muscles and all that shit that I worked so hard for and the supplements, all that is gone. It's gone. Could I ever go back to the gym and do that type of shit again? I would need my own car. I would need my own car because here in Rosenberg, there's nothing that's right around the corner. If you in a car, it is. To keep paying that 24-hour fitness gym membership and stuff like that. My brother wants me to get off of that and go to basketball because, as the older brother, you do, kind of hope that your siblings like what you like. And I like basketball, I do. But I'm such a super competitor that if I play basketball, I want to learn the fundamentals before anything else. Like my brother doesn't understand that we could be so dominant, but you don't know how I play. I'm like a Klay Thompson. Because I have little hands, I don't have the ability to really do what I want to do with the basketball. My hands are more muscle structured than just real skinny hands that could, glove a ball like that. You know what I mean? So I would have to tell my brother, yo, I'm the type of basketball player that I'm not going to take a lot of dribbles. A lot of times, bro, you can catch me on the move, and that's how I'm more comfortable like that because when you play street ball, everybody plays smothering defense. The type of defense that you can really swing your elbow and hit a nigga in the mouth and be like, bro, back up. I don't know how to use my offhand like LeBron and push off. They all do it, but I'm using him because he's he's a bum and he does it, so flagrantly of dribbling and then you extending that hand to push him off of you like a running back. Because you don't have handles. So it's stuff like that I would want to be able to understand when I'm playing with my brother. Yo, if you see me running down the court, bro, don't really look for a fast break. You better off throwing an alley to me, dog. Because like so many times on these fast breaks, I don't have the stride, nor do I have the length to make sure every layup is going to go in. I missed a wide open layup simply because I took off way too early. I took off like 8 feet, from the damn goal, like basically like three feet in front of the damn free throw line. And the layup just kind of soared and then it bounced off the backboard. My brother was like, dude, you threw it in there. And I was like, yeah, I know. That's practice, bro. That's practice. And see, I told y'all back in 2015, I made my brother practice. That nigga was tired. That nigga was finna puke. That nigga was finna quit because he kept missing shots. We're going to go half court left-handed layups. He comes down. I pass it to him. Boom. Layup. Out of 10 of those, he'll hit maybe 6 of them. So then what he want to do? He want to just go back to dribble, dribble, shoot the ball, go get my own rebound, dribble, 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 step back, shoot, go get my own rebound. Because of the drills are exposing you. So I may come back with some more stuff later, man. I don't know. I'm not sure. Today's Monday. I know tomorrow we're going to, tomorrow we hoop at the church. I told y'all my brother, loves his shoes and stuff like that. So he gave me a pair of sneakers. He gave me these Reeboks. And he still keeps boxes. Like, that would annoy the hell out of me as his woman. Like, bro, throw these damn boxes in the trash. And then he gave me these here, the Air Maxes. Told you, my brother love. You wouldn't catch me buying no damn lime green hot pink shoe. Ever. Ever. I'm as alpha can get. I don't like them kind of little women colors and shit, but nonetheless, man, thanks for the shoes. But yeah, man, I'm going to try to enjoy the quiet time that I got here alone before everyone gets home. I may come back with a video later on. I'm not sure. So